Live from the heart of America, I'm Steve Gruber, your soldier of truth, the tip of the spear. Fighting for you from that foxhole of freedom, asking the questions nobody else will, getting analysis that's better than anybody else right here every time. It's the Steve Gruber Show. Thank you for being here. Here are the three big things you need to know right now to kick off this hour. Number one, the White House has already been struck down by the Supreme Court, but they're still trying to figure out how to stick American taxpayers with student loan debt. Number two, John Kerry getting hammered for his call to destroy farms worldwide to go after climate change or global warming. He's a man who has been caught, but he is not stopping. And number three, Joe Biden has been lying to everyone for years about the nature of his relationship with his son Hunter and the Biden global extortion and influence peddling network. For years, Joe has laughed off any suggestion that he or Hunter ever did anything wrong, that somehow the Chinese, the Russians, the Ukrainians, Romanians, and I'm sure others just decided to ship tens of millions of dollars to their network of now exposed front companies and shell companies. Out of the goodness of their hearts, all that money came. Yeah, that's how it happened. I mean, they must really love what the Bidens do to send them what, some say could end up being between $50 and $100 million to at least 9 members of the Biden cabal, including some of the grandkids, which I'm sure offered great services to their international clients. Devin Archer testified on Capitol Hill Monday that Joe Biden was put on the phone or in person more than 20 times during meetings he was involved with. That also included the bagman Hunter. And what's really amazing is that immediately after his testimony was complete and Archer left the building, the spin machines were running full speed, trying to lay an impossible narrative that Joe Biden was just, being brought in to say hi to all of Hunter's nice friends and Devin's nice friends. Nobody believes that. Not one Democrat believes that. Oh, Joe, he was just there to say, hi, how's the weather? What the Democrats cannot believe is how totally reckless the whole Biden family has been in procuring and demanding payments, bribes, and extorting money from politicians, government officials, and anyone else they could shake down to promote the brand and say, yeah, we have the access. And it was all about the brand. That was the term used by Devin Archer. That was the entire point of the exercise, to show they had access to the big guy, the vice president, the brand. And who knows, maybe the president too. I mean, I'd not put it past these greedy idiots to have Joe Biden as president on the phone. So let's start with the most ridiculous of denials, shall we? Dan Goldman, congressman, host of Democrats, trying to have you believe that when Joe Biden was put on speakerphone to impress those getting the shakedown from his bagman and son Hunter, all he talked about was the weather. Maybe he did, but you're missing the point. Listen.
So to confirm, you're saying that the speakerphone conversations, they don't seem concerning to you because there was no specifics about business, and it just seemed like
it was clear that it was as part of the daily conversations that Hunter Biden had with his father, and it was and sounded like most of the time. Now President Biden didn't even know who the people he was at dinner. He was just asked to say hello, and he would, talk about the way he described it several times. They asked over and over and over. He described what the weather was, how what's going on your end. The witness was very, very consistent that none of those conversations ever had to do with any business dealings or transactions. They were purely what he called casual conversations.
What a complete idiot. If anybody believes that the de facto lawyer, Dan Goldman there, is going to sell that snake oil, look, he's on the phone to show we have access. It doesn't matter if he talked about the weather or the ball game. We've got Joe on speed dial. You want access to the brand? Well, the brand is on our speed dial. If you want it on yours, you pay millions of dollars up front. And it's clear the networks and the voters are not impressed by any of this. I mean, after the plea deal for Hunter fell apart, and now his best friend fingers him and Daddy Warbucks for facilitating massive cash payments, there is fear on the left today. There should be. When put on the spot, Goldman visibly shaken by the testimony, and the comments became more unbelievable as Goldman went on. Listen.
Doesn't it contradict the president's statement saying that he never talked to any of Hunter Biden's business associates? Clearly he talked, whether it's about the weather or whatever, but he said specifically that he's never talked to them. Doesn't this contradict them?
I don't know what his comment is, and if we're going to... Well, I don't think that's what he said. He never said that he has never spoken to anyone. He said that he had nothing to do with Hunter Biden's business dealings. If he says hello to someone that he sees his son with, is he supposed to say, "Hi, son"? Oh, no, I'm not going to say hello to the other people at the table or the other people on the phone. It's kind of a preposterous premise to think that a father should not say hello to people that the son is at dinner with, and that is literally all the evidence is.
Is this like a party trick that Hunter Biden used to impress the people he was with?
What is preposterous is that Dan Goldman's too dumb, or thinks you're too dumb to get what that was all about. Let's move past these laughable denials. They do not pass the even most basic of stink tests, and let's take a look at what this really is. This is a pay-to-play arrangement, pure and simple. And even if Joe only talked about the weather, that is completely meaningless because Devon Archer outlined the very basic foundational fact. This was a brand, and the brand was Joe Biden. And Joe Biden has been lying, and Joe Biden got paid a lot, and he lied about it a lot. That's the bottom line, period. The former assistant director of the FBI, Chris Swecker, says Joe Biden's involvement with Hunter is a textbook case of extortion and bribery. He says it's a slam dunk. And that Devon Archer's testimony that the big guy was on the phone to sell the brand is the closer. Listen to this.
As head of the criminal division, we saw this quite a bit in bribery cases. It's called stream of services. You sell access or something of value, and you get something back in return, but it's not an express quid pro quo. It's just an understanding. But if you can match up the services within a reasonable period of time with the thing of benefit, in this case $10 million or whatever it is, then you have bribery. You don't have to have that express quid pro quo. And they were selling access. All you had to do, they do the big setup, and then they put Joe Biden on the phone and just shows that they have access. Here he is. He's on the phone. I just told you, we can do things for you. And there he is. So, I mean, that matches up perfectly. Then you match it up with the prosecutor gets fired. The prosecutor is going after Burisma right within that same time frame. Boy, you're really close to a slam dunk, in my opinion.
Yeah, really close to a slam dunk. I mean, don't forget about the firing of Shokin. Victor Shokin fired as prosecutor looking into Burisma. So there's the former assistant director of the FBI saying in no uncertain terms that this is now a textbook case of bribery, extortion, or, if you please, just good old-fashioned corruption. And it leads all the way to the Oval Office. Dear Republicans, it is time for an impeachment inquiry. That's what time it is. Knock, knock, who's there? Impeachment inquiry. That's right. It's time. We'll take a break. I'm not done here. Devon Archer delivered and showed for the world that Joe Biden is lying and stealing and trading on the family name to gain access to their family and to America. We'll be right back.